Praise the Lord, everybody, and God bless you all. In today's video, I just wanted to share with you all something that I believe will be very helpful for you, and it will encourage you for those of you who are waiting on marriage, for those of you who are waiting for a future spouse. And if any of you have been waiting for a while, you maybe have felt discouraged, or, you maybe have thought, God, you're taking too long. I want to just share with you some encouraging words that I believe if you, just take heed and you would consider this in your own life, that you would, see a great benefit from it. So, when it comes down to waiting on things that God has for us, oftentimes it could just seem just like it's taking so long. And especially if it's something that you really desire, or you believe that this is something that God placed in your heart. And it's good, right? Because obviously the Bible tells us that if we delight ourselves in the Lord, then He will give us the desires of our heart. And that's the verse I want to share with you for today. It says that if we delight ourselves in the Lord, then He will give us the desires of our heart. And the key is delighting ourselves in God. And what's interesting is we all think that once we receive this desire, right? You are waiting for a husband or a wife, or for children, or for just something that you believe it's just going to be it for you. And I want to let you know that when we think in this way, which many of us do, if not most of us have done this, is that we will find ourselves disappointed. We will find ourselves disappointed because we are actually looking to this person, right? This man or woman, or this family, right? That we're so hoping for, that we believe is going to fulfill us. And that couldn't be furthest from the truth, because it is only God Himself who can satisfy our deepest desires, our deepest longings. And so if this is something, right, that you desire for, it's good. However, we just need to reprioritize our desires in the sense of giving them to God and surrendering them to Him. It's literally an act of our will and saying, God, I trust you. God, I trust you with this promise. And I don't want to put this promise above you. And you see, when we can do this, this shows an act of faith that it's going to be God who is going to work on our behalf. And it's not going to be us trying to do this in our own way. And we can get ourselves in so many situations, right, that it can be hurtful for us because we're trying so hard to make this happen. And during this time, right, I was just having a conversation with a sister last night actually about this. And, I was just telling her how, for me personally speaking, years ago, how if I would have, I desired this, but I just was not ready. I was not ready to be a wife. And so oftentimes, God has to prepare us. He has to mold us, and He has to shape our character to be that man or woman of God, so that we can be a blessing to our partner and that we can help them, right? For us women, we're called to help our husbands, and we're called to build them and just be there for them. And men, right, you are called to love your wives as Christ loves the church. And that is a great responsibility, right? And when you think about marriage, it's selfless. It's supposed to reflect Christ and the church. And, for us as women, it requires for us to trust our husbands and to submit to them. And so before we can submit to a man, right, we have to ask ourselves, are we submitting ourselves to the lordship of Christ? Am I listening to God? Am I obeying him? Am I trusting in him? Am I, doing what he's called me to do? All these things, right? Being in the will of God, where we can know that when we do these things, we are getting ourselves involved, right? And at this point, we're not even thinking about, the husband or the wife. We're just so focused on what God has called us to do. And so during this time, right, as we're seeking God, he begins to change us little by little. And before you know it, right, has done a work in our hearts where now we are able to receive the promise that we have been hoping for, the promise that we have been believing for. And you see, I believe God is a God of perfect timing. God is a God of order. And so when we see, right, in the scriptures, how, let's just go back to the beginning when he created the world, and whenever he formed something, he said it was good. And so God is a good God, and the Bible tells us no good thing will he withhold to those who walk uprightly. That is a promise. And so I just wanted to encourage you that on this walk, right, there is going to be a time of waiting. But this time of waiting shouldn't be one of just sitting back. It's one to actively pursue God, to truly allow God to fill our deepest hearts, right? Our longings that only he can do. And anything else he gives us, it's a blessing. And now we are ready to receive it. And so I just wanted to share that with someone who maybe is going through this time, right? And you have found yourself discouraged. You have found yourself like, maybe this is never going to happen. And I don't believe that, again, if you have these desires, it's a good thing. It's from God. However, God, if he knows we're not ready for something, and he's a good father, he's not going to give us something that he knows we're not ready for. And this requires on our end, right, a time of denying our flesh. Because when you think of it, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And the flesh wants immediate gratification. I want this now. But good things, they take time. And God, he knows all things. And so he is a good God to be trusted. And I just hope and pray that this is a blessing to whoever that it's for. God bless you guys.